want to get my light fixed because you all's t-shirts look so nice and navy, and mine doesn't look navy.
I have new lights. A friend of mine gave me two new they're like the big spotlight lights.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Get two of those.
Yes.
Somebody telling me they're much better than the ring lights too.
And then I have the
Really?
ring light in front of me, and then the two spotlights coming this way. So yeah, I got a lot of light going on tonight.
And that's so strange because I have two ring lights, and Victoria, you and I have, well, mine's a little darker, but our shirt's the
Yeah.
same color.
Yeah.
And then
Your shirt looks a little lighter.
yeah.
Hmm.
And Ruth's shirt really does look really navy.
Yeah.
Yeah, yours looks navy too. But at any rate, I don't care. I'll just
See how's that?
I'm
We can
just-
see you. That's what counts.
I'll just sit over here and pout until
Ain't that too light now?
No,
No, that's too dark.
See?
there.
That's
Yeah.
better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. That's good. Okay, who's gonna go first with their weekend review?
I think Victoria's got some great news she wants to share.
Okay,
I'll go first.
you'll go first.
That's no problem. Thank you, Ruth.
Ruth, you want to go second?
Well, Victoria, just talk long so I can figure something out.
Okay, I can do that.
I can go second if you want me to. You're
Oh
gonna
no, that's fine.
be
That's
talking
fine.
so much.
That's fine.
Okay, Ruth, and then me, and we don't have a break or anything.
Mm-mm.
After my weekend review, I'm gonna turn it right back over to you, Mr. Ruth, and you're gonna give us these great tips for tonight.
Yeah. Well, don't forget we have to do the check-in for the journaling challenge.
Oh yeah. You're gonna talk about that?
That's it. I said we are going to talk about.
Oh, we.
Yeah, we.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
We.
Yeah.
Are we gonna talk about that during
Yeah. So we should talk.
your weekend review part? No, we're gonna talk about that then.
Yes, we can do that.
All right. Since we're doing things right now,
Right
we need to go ahead and roll the open.
All right.
Good.
You guys have a good one. I'll be here in the background.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thanks. Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Authors Up, your favorite place to be at 7 p.m. on Sunday evenings. Hello, ladies. How are you tonight? Hey, Miss Ruth. How are you?
Hi. We're doing good. Well, I'm doing good.
All
Okay,
right.
who's over there? We start that.
You good, right? You good?
Yep, we is.
All right.
Queen Victoria is definitely in the house, in the house.
I'm feeling fine.
And Nikaeta is with us this evening. Hey, Nikaeta, good to have you on the line with us tonight. I know we've got some more people coming in, and we have had a good. I know I've had a good week. I hope you ladies have had a good week as well. We had a really, really good session last week. Really good.
Yes.
The book was amazing that we talked about, the thread collectors.
Yes.
And we had both the authors on with us, and it was just an amazing interview. And for those of you who may have missed it, we encourage you to go back. I mean, you can go back and listen to previous podcasts, can't they, Ruth? Yes, they can.
Yes, they can. They can go, if you haven't friended us on Facebook, you can do that. Also on YouTube, you can download our podcast so you can listen to previous episodes on any of those platforms.
Yep. And that was a really good one. So I hope you will
Hmm.
go back. And this is going to be a good one tonight. And we've got some great review things that we're going to talk about this evening. And first, we're going to do our weekend review, though. We always like to do
Hmm.
that. And Victoria's got something exciting to share.
I do. I do. The Ruth was talking about her daughter's friend last week. I have no friend news to share, but just different milestones of your children. It is just wonderful to see. And both my children have new jobs, and my youngest one, I started a job working with a like an animal hospital kind of thing, not animal hospital, but animal daycare kind of thing, doggy
Hmm.
daycare, and it's just loving it. And that's I'm so excited that my baby's gonna be 18 this year, and just
Wow.
doing something to see that it's something that they love doing is amazing. And then Miss Benea, she's going to start a job this week as well. But my exciting news about her is she is going to be performing the role of Nettie in The Color Purple. So she went out last weekend, I think it was Sunday into Monday, or Monday into Tuesday for the auditions. And they had given them the option of either putting in a performance tape or coming in person. And she was like, "Oh, Mom, I don't have too much gas. I don't know if I should go in person. I can just do a tape here at the house." And I was like, "No, Naya, I don't know. I just feel something just says you need to go. So I hear some gas money. I believe you can do this. Go ahead and go." Because she hasn't really performed since she graduated from college. It'll be 2 years this year. And
Mhm.
and I just want her to just, even if she didn't get the role, get your feet wet, get used
Hmm.
to these auditions.
Right.
And I told her, I said, for every no, right, there's going to be that one yes, and the role is yours. So just do your thing. She went, "Oh, okay, I'll just go for the chorus. I won't, try for a major role." When she got the call back, she didn't get called back for the chorus. She got called back to do Nettie. And she had to go to the call back, and then they sent an email out Wednesday morning. She woke me up with, "Ma, I got the part." Yeah,
That's
I'm
awesome.
crazy. That's so
Music to your ears. I got the part.
yes, yes, I'm excited. So who knew Burlington had a theater? But so it's going to be in Burlington, and I'll have more information. She's tonight. She went for her first rehearsal, and I'm proud of her. I'm proud of her.
I think it's the first rehearsal.
Okay.
I think that's where she's going with that.
So that was my last
Oh,
week.
that is good news. That is good news. That is good
It
news.
That's
is.
good.
Yep. And Ruth, what about you? What's your weekend review? I know you've had a busy, busy week.
Yes, I was trying to narrow it down to one thing, but it's just been, I mean, it has been a busy week. We had the Black History Month at the church, and I was so I'm the head of the cultural ministry, and we put together a program which to me was just amazing. Now, of course, it was almost it was doubtful up until, maybe the last day. And it was just like, "Oh, okay, is this really gonna happen?" And, you should walk away from everything going, "What was my lesson learned?" You know,
Yeah.
what went right, what went wrong, what could we do better?
Mhm.
And definitely learn from this. Always have a plan B. So I had a plan B, didn't have to put it into action because plan A just worked out. It
Mhm.
was all 11th hour, but it was beautiful. It was awesome. It was just, I mean, it was better than I could have hoped for. So,
Oh, you did a
um,
good job.
yeah,
Yes.
thank you. Thank you.
Very
So,
good. Kudos to you.
thank you. So it worked out really well. Let's see. continuing on my writing, my own writing journey. So still trying to finish the book, and I didn't take a step back from it, but what I discovered is that I have a book in the book. So I was trying to finish the book in the book first, and that one is a whole book in itself. So it's just, it's
How did you
extra.
manage to do that?
I don't know. I don't know because and that's part of the writing journey. You keep writing and then you're like, "Oh, wait, no, it's morphing into something else." And that's sometimes why you let the characters tell their own story. And that's when I realized after I took the break from November that, oh no, I have to finish this part so that I can write the next part around it. So, and this part ended up being a book within the book. So I definitely now have to finish this book so that I can put the rest of the book around it. So it's gonna take a little longer than I thought, but it'll definitely be worth it, I think.
How
So
exciting. I
I am
can't wait
excited
to
about it.
read it.
Always is. So I can't wait to read both the books.
I
Right.
know, right? So
And then the book in the book.
yes, and Victoria, you mentioned my daughter's friend last week. He is her boyfriend. So,
Okay.
we followed up just because we were nosy, and I was like, I texted my daughter. I'm like, so does he like us? What happened? What did you guys talk about? She's like, oh no, he loves you guys. And I'm like, oh. So I cannot, and I hope everything works out. But it's just he was a really nice guy, and mom and dad approve.
There
So.
you go. There you
Mhm.
go.
Nice. Nice.
That's a
Yes.
good thumbs up.
Yep. Yeah. So that was my week. It's still very busy, but we're getting stuff done.
Yeah.
Good.
How about you, Andrea?
I
Yeah.
had a cute little thing to do. I have an assignment. I do story time with ABC Daycare. You all know my daughter has a daycare,
All
and
right.
her little people are, gosh, I think the oldest one is probably 4. They're about 3, 4 years old. But it's so funny. She has them sitting around, and they're sitting around where they can see the phone and everything. And she said, "It's time for story time with Gigi." And they're, "Hi, Gigi." It is so cute. It is just so cute. And I think they don't have a clue what I'm talking about, but but it is so much fun, and they all wave. I
Oh,
names out, and they all wave and everything, and I'll read a little story to them, and I have to make sure that I turn the book around and talk about the little characters and talk about the little things, and I say, did you see that? Did you see that big thing that the
oh,
character had? Yeah. So
that
it's
is
just
so stinking
Cute.
cute.
so I do that once a month. So that was my time last week with story time with Gigi, and I had a good time. And they're just little people, so
Mm,
they're just delightful. Everything they
That's nice that you do that. That's nice.
well, that's what I always wanted to do. I
mhm.
ended up in theater and all these other crazy things because I set out to narrate children's books. That's what I always
Aw.
wanted to do, was to narrate children's books. So I get to narrate them live with real little people.
That's nice.
You get to see the impact right there,
Yes,
when
right.
they pay attention and when they don't.
Exactly.
So,
And it was so funny because I read one a book, and it had something to do about shapes and things. And I said, do you all know how to do your circle? No. It was like, you do know how to draw a circle. Know what a triangle is? No. That was a day they didn't know anything. So they're just funny to me. They're
Oh,
funny, but she's had one since he was, well, gosh, since he was born.
mhm.
Um,
wow.
and his mom got really sick, and we prayed her through, and prayed for him, just watching them grow,
Yes.
and realizing that she's not going to have them forever. They're going to
Mhm.
get old enough to go to school, and then she'll have some new little people in the house. But
Hmm.
it was fun for me, and I think it was fun for them. I just love to hear them speak and leave. Hi Gigi was all over. She said, "Okay, tell Gigi thank you, Gigi."
Well, when I can't sleep this week, could I call you or you read me a
You
story?
can call me anytime, and
Okay.
Gigi will read you a story.
Thank you, Gigi.
So that was my highlight for my week. A lot of other things went on,
And
but
that's
that
joy.
that
That's
was
pure
that
joy over your face. And
things
I
Oh,
love it.
absolutely. Yeah.
just made me smile. So I look forward to the next book that I do for my little children. So yeah, that was it for me. But Ruth, I know you were busy doing something else, and I see we've got Pastor Leah on the line who had great things to say. Today, I saw her today, and she was talking about how much she is enjoying the journaling challenge. So
Mhm.
thank you for that, Miss Leah, and kudos to you, Ruth. The encouraging words, the way you're putting those together has
Yes.
just been amazing. I have really been enjoying
Thank you.
reading them every day, and we're gonna have to do something special with all those things because those were
Mhm.
just some great quotes. But
Right.
how are things coming? Because you get the other end where you know what everybody's doing and how everybody's doing. I have done something every day,
Good.
and I
Good. And I'm glad to hear that.
think what got me was understanding the
Mhm.
differences and the different kinds of journaling
Hmm.
Mhm.
that kind of put me on a good trajectory of
Yes.
of making sure that I'm writing every day. So yeah, those things really helping me. So fill us in. Tell us what else has been going on.
Well, it has been a quiet week. I haven't heard as much from the participants, but I feel like everyone is still on board and we are at the halfway point. So we've been on it 2 weeks, and I would encourage, the participants, and I'm gonna keep encouraging the participants, just keep at it, and it's like you said, Andrea, sometimes we get stuck. One of the things that I've learned, even in my day job, is just shared terminology. As long as we're all on the same page and we understand the
Yeah.
words we're using,
Mm-hmm.
then we can get to where we need to get. So, shared terminology, if we're talking about a journal, we're not necessarily talking about a diary. It is a great
Right.
tool,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes we need it. And the truth is, not everybody does.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, if you want a space where you do want to write down your thoughts and what happened in a day, that's great. But, sometimes it's prayer journal, sometimes it's sermon journal, sometimes it's your list. So, journaling has a lot of definitions, and it really helps to
Mm-hmm.
understand what type of journal you need, what your needs are at the moment. So,
Mm-hmm.
because your needs today may not be the same next week,
Right.
but you have that option. So,
Right.
that's just my encouragement, but I think we are doing great. We are, like I said, today was the halfway point. It's all downhill from
Amazing.
there.
2 weeks
And
already, right?
yeah,
I
yeah,
know. Yeah.
yeah.
Time
So
is going by so fast. I
No, we already in March. And we
Yeah,
it seemed like we just said Happy New Year.
I know.
yep, yep. So
Well,
that is
as we continue, um, we're looking at some other things, and journaling and getting on board with that is,
mhm,
I think it taps into the writer within,
mhm,
because just because you don't write a novel, and you can't write volumes of Harry Potter, or you know romantic novels, and all of the other genres that are out there, doesn't mean that you can't write. It
right.
doesn't mean that you can't communicate through writing.
Right.
So hello from St. Thomas, Virgin Islands.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hello.
Glad to have you on with us tonight, and I hope that you will get something from this. We're talking about writing and some tips for writing. Ruth used to give us tips every week, and we kind of gotten away from that. But so I'm always excited when she has tips for us because they're always things that help us along our journey, whatever that journey happens to be. So she has got some tips for us tonight, and I am excited to hear what she's got to share with us because I know it is going to be a tool that is going to be very, very helpful in our toolbox, our writing toolbox. So, take it away, Miss Ruth. What you got for us?
Okay. Well, part of some of the feedback that I've gotten so far, and hello from Freeport, Bahamas.
Hello,
I'm gonna make it out to the
Bahamas.
Bahamas one day. I really am.
Yes, yes.
So, thank you for joining us. So one of the feedback that kept coming back early during our journaling challenge is the schedule. How do I make time to write when it
Mm,
hasn't been? And that's fair. If you haven't done
Mhm.
something before, starting something new requires, a little extra intentional effort. So
mhm.
tonight we're going to be looking at tips for creating a writing schedule. All right.
Ah,
And these I think are some of the biggest ones. Andrea, you asked me earlier where I got these tips. Sometimes it's experience, sometimes it's the internet. We have there's so much out there, and I try to make it easier for, our audience just by putting them together. But just, if there's something more that you need, just check it out, do a little extra research. But for tonight, we've got 8 tips just to help you get started in creating a writing schedule, and again, whether it is you're journaling, you just want to do a diary, whether you want to write something every day, or you're trying to write a book, or a blog or a story. Everyone's got a story to tell. We always say that, and it's up to you what that story is and how it looks at the end, but it will require you to set aside some time to write. So we all have 24 hours in the day. Um, some of that has to be set aside to write. So it's just as important as brushing your teeth, eating lunch. And I was inspired even today. I'm not so much on social media, but I do enjoy Reddit. I enjoy their
Mm.
writing communities.
mhm.
And one of the communities, one of the writers said, okay, every day, he was starting to notice that the writing wasn't as important to him. And he
Okay.
didn't like that. So what he did,
Mhm.
he took his 15-minute break and he started organizing and writing. And those 15 minutes was enough to get him back on track every
Oh,
day,
wow.
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 15 minutes. So obviously it inspired more and he set aside more time, but it was those 15 minutes.
Mm,
So our tips today are to help you get to that same place. So, number one, find a time of day that works best for you. Some of us are early risers. I am
Mhm.
an early bird. Some people are like, are not. Some people are, night owls. So, what is the best time for you? When do you have to work? When are you at your best? And that's the thing. For me, I love getting up in the morning before everything else, and I love to sit down and just clear my head, just to write, and to be honest, I love coming home in the evening and sitting down and going, okay, all these thoughts that I've been having all day, now I want to put them down on
Right.
paper. So I like to journal in the morning and I like to write in the evening. That's what works best for me. I only need 6 hours of sleep, so I'm good. But, as long as I'm in bed by 11 o'clock, I'm good to go. But allow it to become part of your routine. If you do it long enough, experts say you do something at least 21
day.
times in a row, it becomes a habit. So start doing that. Figure out what time of day works best for you and then try to insert that into, and that's our second tip, create your own writing schedule. Like I said, the example I gave the Reddit user, 15 minutes at lunch every day was able to get him back on track and able to get him doing what he wanted to do. So, what does your schedule look like? Sometimes, and I'll be honest, I work a desk job, love my job, but I cannot schedule my lunch to save my life.
Right.
So I know that I need to do it in the morning or I need to do it in the evening.
Right.
But
Gotcha.
if you can schedule your lunch, you can schedule your break. If you say every day at 10 o'clock, I'm free, this is what I'm going to do. Put it on your calendar. We all have access to calendar. I don't care what we say, whether it's a notebook, a
Right.
calendar, a planner, Google Calendar, Outlook, whatever it
Something.
is, something. If you have the technology, put the alarm on so it reminds you. Um, whatever it is, just remind yourself that is the time that you're going to write. All right. So,
Yeah, I haven't been. I don't have a scheduled break because my work is so all over the place. I don't have
mhm,
time either. But I will. I have been carrying my journal with me,
mhm,
and I have thought about it, doing conscious thinking about it. Okay, I'm gonna take a little break, and for me, I had to also realize I don't have to write a dissertation to
that's
journal.
it. Mhm,
And I in my mind I was like, I wasn't fully doing it if I didn't write a paragraph. Well, now it's just if I have just a couple of thoughts, I write them down and keep it push it.
that's it. And
Yeah,
Hmm.
I love that you said that because more often than not, we think, okay, well, I need, that whole, um, writing the great American novel, how you need to get
right.
away from everyone and, take a sabbatical and all. No, just, like you said, take your journal with you, take your book with you, take your computer with you if you can take a break. I know personally for me, I will get up from my desk, take my phone with me because I use apps and just write, go outside, sit outside for like 10, 15 minutes and write. So
Do you have a journaling app you can recommend? Is there a journaling app?
there are many journaling
Oh,
apps.
okay,
To
okay.
be honest, if you are an Office 365 user, I would highly, highly, highly recommend OneNote.
Oh,
It's easy to
ooh,
organize your thoughts. It is
really?
backed up to the cloud. You can put a password on it if you
Oh,
don't want to share it, and it's easy to back up. So that is my wholehearted recommendation.
thank you for that, Ruth.
Mhm,
That may have made
mhm.
it a little easier too. It's
Yeah.
I have OneNote and never use it.
Oh, yeah, no, it is a great app, for a lot of things, and no, Microsoft does not pay me, but they should as much as I recommend them.
But don't tell my job I might use it.
Yes, so but, I mean, there are so many out there, and I would just, whether you're an Android or an Apple user,
Yeah.
there are a lot of apps out there that you can get, even use free. I know a lot of things are going to subscription based now, but, if you wanna try out the technology, if you always have your phone with you,
Hmm.
you can just download several of them, see which one works best for you. Some of them are diary based, some of them, are
Okay.
continuous. It just depends on, what your preference is. To me, I was, up until the beginning of this year, I was actually just using a Word document. But
Okay.
it
Okay.
becomes,
Yeah.
it becomes tedious when you have to scroll through, and I'm not bragging, several hundred pages of your journal before you get before you get to the next page. So by using OneNote, now I can always stay on the most recent page and it pops up cleanly. So
Oh, so
that's
it pops up a new page,
yes, you
and
can
then you
set
can
it
go
up that way.
back and read
Mhm,
your page.
mhm, mhm. Yeah.
Oh, you learning me something tonight.
Okay.
Thank you.
I like the idea of getting away because I was going to suggest we all go to the Bahamas and
Oh
just
yeah, no, I'm with that.
try to
I'm
write and think. What do you think? Just
like
a
I said,
thought.
you don't need that. That was not one of my tips,
Just
but I'm sure it helps. You can be inspired as you're out there. So absolutely change the scenery. Change the scenery always helps. Like
Yeah.
I said, I get up from my desk and go out. So I change my scenery. Bahamas certainly would be better than, Raleigh, North Carolina, but it is what I have right now. So
I
They
see
say it's better in the Bahamas.
I see I see where Leah said that she also has Evernote.
mhm,
Evernote.
Evernote is another
Oh,
great one.
Before Ruth,
But
Evernote.
Evernote is a really good one. It's been a lot of years since I've used it, and it was briefly. I am very
okay.
um, my doctor called it OCD, so it didn't fit my personality. That was all. But I mean, if it, like I said, the best. bet, honestly, is just to download several of them and figure out which one
Let's see
works
which
best
works
for you.
best.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
okay, tip number 3, prioritize your projects. And this is where it gets fun because again, if you're just journaling, again, you want to understand what type of journaling you're doing, what you need at the moment, but also if you're writing, what is burning fresh in your mind? What do you need to get out? Like I said earlier, I was working on my next book and then realized that there's another book in there. So I have to prioritize the inner book before I can finish the outer book. And oftentimes, even, like last week was busy. So there were times when I could just get like a couple paragraphs done, but I got them done, and that is my priority. So, and most writers have more than one idea in their head. It can make, it can be difficult to know where to start if you're just like, okay, well, this is cool. This is, I want to do this and I want to do this. Write it all down, outline it, make a list of which is more priorities, and then take that, the one you determine, and then create an outline so that you have that roadmap to follow. You know, I know of one, maybe two authors, um, kind of that they're more acquaintances, that they can write from the seat of their pants, that they do not outline, they let the characters write the book. In my mind, they are unicorns. They are special, they are awesome, but that is not normal. So I love them to pieces, but it's just like, no, I need an outline. I need to know what's going to happen next. And I need to know how they're going to get from point A to point B to point Z. So, and I think having that step by step guide allows you to helps you prioritize, the work. So now if you try that and you decide, I'd rather write from the seat of my pants, great. Just put that little sticky in front of you that says, hey, work on this project first and do that. So
Just let it go.
yeah. So all right. Tip number 4, have a plan for writer's block. So I used to say that, oh no, I never get writer's block. And then I got it for a year and a half and I couldn't write a thing. I did not have a plan. And the thing is, the only thing you're going to end up doing during this time is just staring at your screen and going, I don't know what to write. If you plan for the unplannable, you'll be ready for it. Plan for the unexpected. Nobody wants writer's block, but if it does happen, you can be ready for it. And it's not like it's going to be resolved immediately, but as you chip away from why you have writer's block, why you aren't able to write, sometimes it's about the emotional toll if you're journaling. Sometimes it's just, I don't want to do this, sometimes it's just you don't know how to get from point A to point B. If you have a toll for that, and I encourage you, I know that we've done a show on writer's block. I have to go back and figure out which one that was. But go out there, Google it. There are so many things that you can do for it, beginning with, you can use writing prompts. If you're having trouble writing here, maybe you just write on another project. Maybe you go to the next project. Maybe you think, okay, well, maybe it's just this section of the story is giving me difficulty. So I'll just put a little placeholder here and go to the next thing. So just get up, change your scenery, have a plan for when writer's block is going to hit because it will hit all of us. And if you plan for the unexpected, when the unexpected happens, you'll be ready.
Okay.
Good
So,
deal. Like it.
yeah. All right.
I like
Next,
it.
next one is set a daily word count goal. Now, Victoria, I'm gonna go back to you because I think you should set. I wrote daily word count, but I think you should set a goal every day. You
Yeah.
know, and the truth is, not everyone's gonna hit those daily word counts that some people do, especially like during November when you do the NaNoWriMo
Right.
challenge and you have 1,666 words you need to write. That's a lot.
Right.
So not
Right.
everyone's going to hit that. Not even 500 for the unexperienced writer. That's a lot of words. So eh, figure out what your daily goal is. If it's just to sit down and write for 10 minutes, you know, get a timer. If it's to sit down and say, well, I'm going to fill one page or I'm going to fill half a
Right,
page,
right,
or I need to at least write a paragraph.
right.
I don't think it's always the word count or the paragraph that matters.
It's
Sometimes
the
it's just
goal.
the time.
Yeah,
Sometimes I'm going to sit down for 10 minutes and write.
I
If
like
you
that.
yeah,
I like that one.
you have to have something to move towards. It's not just I'm journaling and that's it. No, if you're trying to get better at it, if this is something, if you want to create that writing schedule, that habit, you have to give yourself a goal.
Right, right. I even pulled out my manuscript last week, y'all. Kind of
Awesome.
inspired, and I was
Mhm,
like, okay, let me dust this off here.
mhm, mhm.
I hadn't looked at it since November, but I was like, oh, this okay, okay. So it's kind of actually added another chapter. So
See?
I'm getting inspired. Yes,
Yeah,
Good deal.
yeah.
Good deal.
And that's what writing every day will do for you. So
right.
if you create that space, that schedule, it will help you finish more than just like this challenge.
Yeah.
It will help create something in you because we are creatures of habit. If you can
Yes.
create that habit, then you're going to
Yeah.
accomplish much.
I need to make time to write.
Hmm. Hmm. All right. So we have three more. Next
Okay.
one is find a writing space. So, can I just say the couch at the end of the day is not
Not a
it?
good writing. It's a
I'm
good
going.
space for
Ooh, ooh.
And it's an excellent space for a nap. And oftentimes I come home and I'm like, no, no, no. My husband and I have an empty house, so it's just oftentimes, after dinner we sit down and we're like, okay, we're gonna chill, we're gonna relax. I'm gonna bring my computer over and I'm gonna sit down while he watches the basketball game, which I have no interest in, and I'm like,
Right.
I'm
And you
gonna
say
get
you're gonna
so much
write.
done. And 15 minutes later, I'm at sleep. And 2 hours later, I'm waking up, my computer is on the side and my glasses are still on my face. I'm like, yeah, that did not work out. It didn't work out the last time. It didn't work out the time before that. And yet I still keep trying. So no, so you
What
need,
works for you? What works?
yes.
Sitting at the desk like you are now.
Well, yes. And
Okay.
honestly, and that is the thing. You have to get yourself in that space. Find that space that works for you. The space that's free is just distraction. So for me, when my husband's watching the basketball game, that's background noise. The minute he puts a movie on, I want to know what he's watching and I need to go comment on it and see it. So I just shut the door and I don't hear it. And for me, I put instrumental music on in the background because the minute
Okay.
I hear words, I'm going to start typing words. But,
Oh,
you
okay.
got to create that space. Sitting in the kitchen, which is right next to the living room where I can hear the TV, that's not going to work. Bedroom probably isn't gonna work because the bed is much more comfortable than the couch. So it is, you create that space that the experts tell you, "Oh, don't do anything in bed except, like watch TV or read," or because you wanna create that space where you can rest.
Yeah.
Well, if you wanna create that space where you can write, you know, find an area where it closes out the world and you can just write. That makes sense.
Yeah.
To the best of your ability wherever you are now.
Hmm.
So,
Makes sense.
What do you write,
all right.
Elder?
Um, any number of places. I have difficulty
Never mind.
finding that space. I have difficulty finding that space. But there's a word
I thought
that
she was
you
going to say
mentioned.
something else. Never mind.
Okay. There's another word that Ruth mentioned. If we have time, I want to get to it, but I want you to go ahead and finish it.
Sure, sure. No, I've got a couple more. Find a writing community. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be on Facebook or you have to be on any of these other forums. Find your network. For me, it is these two young ladies right here. You are my support, you're my cheerleaders, you're my community, my writing community.
Right.
And it extends to all our listeners, it extends to the folks on the writing challenge. Find your writing community, people who are going to inspire, people who are going to cheer you on, who are going to help
Mhm.
you if you're stuck. Hey, I don't know where to go. I can say this. You too will read anything I give you and give me any kind of feedback. And I know that it'll be good feedback. So that is what you need to look for. And there are multiple places. I mean, again, I'm not knocking Facebook. It's just if you're not on Facebook, you don't have to be. But
Right.
look for, you start here. We are a forum for authors by authors, but look in your community. There are plenty of places that you can find that community. There are probably writers in your church. If you're in school, look at,
Mhm.
teachers, other students. There are places that you can find your community, your writing community. And by connecting to them, it will help strengthen your gift. So I encourage that. And the last tip, go ahead and start right now. Don't wait until tomorrow. Don't wait until everything's perfect. Don't wait until you get that shiny new notebook or that perfect app or whatnot. Just,
Shiny new notebook.
All right, the
hey,
journal with
look,
the
I got about
lines.
6 shiny new notebooks on my shelf that I have a problem. I don't buy shoes, I buy notebooks. So, but no, those are our tips. And like I said, I just encourage you, there's a lot that you can do. Just create your writing schedule, create that space for you, and then just start writing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Very good.
Good,
Thank you.
good. As always, Ruth.
Thank you.
As always, you always got some good tips and tools for us to keep us going. And you know what? It's just not hard.
Mhm.
It's consistent. They're not difficult things to do. We
Yep.
just have to get consistent and get started.
Yep.
Sometimes the most difficult part of it all is getting started.
Just to get started.
Mhm.
When you get started, you can make some things happen, but you got to get started first.
That's it.
Got to get started. So good deal, good deal.
Thank you.
What's your next writing goal, Ruth? To deal with the book inside of the book?
My next goal, writing goal.
Uh-huh.
Um, well, I have it completely outlined. If I can just set aside a week, I can get that done, and then I can go back to the book. My goal is to finish. I was going to give myself 3 months, but we're already at month 3, so I have
Okay.
to revisit that goal. But then it is, so if I can carve out some time consistently,
Mhm.
I do journal consistently, but it is about finding time for the project.
To write.
Once I get my life together, um, my goal is to finish that book this year.
Finish
Well,
that.
what I love about your writing is once you get inspired and it just seems to flow.
Thank
And
you.
and before I believe before July we'll have these books.
I
I,
think so.
I do. I
I
do. That's the way you write. It just
mhm,
flows once
thank
you
you.
get on that path. So go ahead.
You have you have a writing goal, Victoria? Do you have
Yes,
one? What's yours?
just to finish it.
We
But
gonna
no,
work on that. Look, we gonna okay. That is the big
seriously,
goal. Now we got to make the
seriously, I like the idea of challenging myself to write at least 15 minutes a day.
mhm.
15 minutes a day. If journaling and on my book. But I would love to have the book finished where I could submit it by July. That's my goal. Really,
Okay.
truly
Mm.
it is. Because it's got this story has to be told. And I've
Yeah.
Mhm.
been procrastinating a long time.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
yeah.
Good. 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 Well,
What
we've
is
got
your
had a lot. Huh?
what is your goal?
Oh, mine is to work on volume 2
Okay.
of And It Is So.
Okay.
Good.
And to also clean up and clean out all of the writing that I have. I'm a big paper person. I do
Um.
better with paper.
Hmm.
So I have a lot of paper around, which has a lot of duplicates of things that I have written, and I'm busy tossing, but making sure
Mhm.
that I have the work somewhere else,
Mhm.
Okay.
and also coming up with a system so that when I do the next collection, it won't be as hard. So as I'm doing the 8 at 8 broadcasts, there's some that I am beginning to just identify as book.
Oh,
I'll put
okay.
something in
Gotcha.
the column. This is book two, but whatever. So that when I get ready to do the next one, it won't be so hard to determine what I'm going to, um, what I'm going to
Hmm.
use. So
And do you write
that,
it out? And but you don't type yours into any program and like Word. You write yours out.
no, I type.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I do type now. When I'm journaling, I don't.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But my other stuff, my 8 at 8, my verses of victory, and
Yes.
stuff like that. No, that's a computer sit down
Well,
thing.
that's good. Then that
Yeah.
keeps it kind of together from the
Mhm.
beginning.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like that. That's great.
yeah,
Okay.
I do it that way. I do
Good.
it that way. I want to. These are just great tips and tools, Ruth,
Hmm.
from the time of day and getting organized and understanding your community. I think that's important because your community doesn't have to be 55 people or 5,000
Mm-mm.
people,
Mm-mm.
but it is those people that you can connect with that are inspirational to
Right.
you and what it is you're doing and who are honest with
Yep.
you and will pull your coattail when you kind of fall off the wagon a little bit and push you back on the path. And I think those are, really, really important things, just real
Yes.
important things to have in your life. So that is looking good. Again, I thank you for all of the inspirational things that
Of
you
course.
are sending. Um, and I don't know if there is one I would like to put something out there. It's not anything that we asked for originally, but I would be interested in knowing for those who are participating, which quote or which thought was most, inspirational to them. Because I think sometimes when we find these things, we need to hold on to them.
Hmm.
Don't let them go, be like me and print it off and tuck it away somewhere. But always keep it at hand because we need them. We need
Mhm.
things on a daily basis sometimes to just keep the flow and keep us moving and keep us going. So thank you, Ruth. Thank you,
You're
Victoria.
welcome.
Thank you, all of those who joined tonight. Thank you, Virgin Islands, and thank you, Bahamas.
Yes.
Glad
Hmm.
to have you. And for those who are on other platforms who listen to us, and if you think this has been helpful for you and you want to share it, be sure that you do that because there's somebody else out there that might not think that they're a writer, but journaling just might be what they need. So be sure
Absolutely.
to share it. And we do our replays on Saturday evenings at 7 p.m. But we will be right back here next Sunday night. Sunday night. Do we know who we've got this Sunday coming? If we don't, not a
Yes,
problem. We
we
do.
do. We do. We have Wendy Eugene joining us. She actually reached out to us, so I want to segue that into, hey, if you know an author, if you are an author and you are curious about coming on our show, email us at authorsup@gmail.com.
There you go. That famous website.
Mm-hmm.
Email, that famous email address.
That's right.
Authors up at
At
gmail.
gmail.com.
That's
Make
right.
make things happen. Well, that's it for us for the evening. You have your instructions. You don't have to get the book, but you do have to get the email out to
Keep
us
journaling. Keep
so that
journaling.
we can move forward. But thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Mhm.
We look forward to having you next week because you never, ever, ever know what is going to happen on Authors Up. So come back next week, 7 p.m. We'll be right here. You guys have a great week, and we'll
You
see you
too.
then. Good night, everybody.
Good night,
Good
everybody.
night.
Ruth,
Good
night,
night, Monica.
Victoria.